Welcome back to Rush Air Radio. I'm your show host, Chris Reshatar, licensed loan officer with Movement Mortgage. And each and every week, if you've never listened to Rush Air Radio, we're just sort of wrapping up our segment for this week. We try to bring interesting hot topics related to finance, real estate, mortgage, whatever it might be, how you care for your home, how you care for your credit, whatever it might be. So, gosh, in our earlier segments, we had a credit repair guy, Adam Kuna, on. We've had Kathleen McLean talking over the last couple of segments on staging and design and how she can help your home, look better if you're wanting to sell it or even just hang out in it and enjoy it for long term. We now have Preston Sandlin, Home Inspection Carolina man. He's the king. We're going to share some topics with really kind of how to care for a pool. Summertime's coming up around the corner. I think our pool just opened up in our neighborhood. I could hear the kids splashing around, the music playing loud. So Preston, welcome back as always. Why don't you jump in and kind of tell us what you brought for our listeners today in terms of this care for pool maintenance, etc.
Okay. Well, I'm primarily talking today about safety. With the pool being back in gear.
Safety's even better.
Yeah, it's been hot, although it's been really nice the past 2 days. But
yeah.
It's supposed to get back, it's like 50 yesterday morning, but it's getting back to the 90s. But we do pool inspections, and there's a whole lot of maintenance stuff we can get into, different types of filtration and all that. But beginning of the summer, and maybe some kids have grown a little bit, and they want to swim and whatnot. I think safety is what I want to address first. So that's what I was going to talk about today. Safety of the pool. So when we inspect a pool, a residential pool, and if you have a pool in your backyard, you may want to go check and make sure you have these things that you're compliant. You have to have a 4 foot or 48 inches enclosure all the way around the pool. And that's measured from the outside. So if you're on some type of hill or it's on a plate, it has to meet that measurement from the outside.
Like a fence you're really talking
about.
Oh,
yeah, exactly, a fence. So that, a small child can't get over it or something like that. Now, with that said, there's a couple other caveats. There can, be an opening at the bottom, but it can only be 2 inches if you're over a non-solid surface, gravel, ground, something like that. Now, if the fence is concrete, it can be 4 inches,
Okay.
Now, the other thing is...
Well, that's interesting because I guess they're just trying to maintain that someone can't squeeze out.
And I guess they could, if it's a dirt or something, they could, dig, or my dog could get under it too. And, pets are... obviously, we don't want someone to drown. I mean, the name of this game is that a child cannot get to the pool unattended, that they cannot swim. Okay, a couple of other things. If you have a gate, which you're... obviously, you got to have a gate somewhere. It has to be, number one, it has to be self-latching, and that means when you open the gate, and if you let go of it, it has some type of spring mechanism that brings it back, and then it automatically
has to latch all the way, not just come close, but all the way latched.
Right, and the latch needs to be on the interior, not on the outside, on the interior. So, like I said, it has to be self-latching, some sort of spring mechanism it would close automatically if you let go of it, and the latch has to be on the inside. Now, a couple of other things to say about that. The fence, the gate, has to open away from the pool, not towards the pool, away from the pool.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I've sort of gone round and round. I've asked a couple of different people why that is, like the code guy, and I've got a couple of different answers. But I know it does have to be that way.
My guess is so that if someone's pushing on, they can't push it open somehow inward, If there's something like a kid pushing it, but hey, who might say?
There was a situation we inspected this pool where it was a catch-22 because it needs to open outward, but there's steps there, and you're not supposed to open outward on steps because
fall backwards,
right, without a certain element.
I can see how that'd be tricky.
But anyway, a couple other things. Here's kind of the big one, and it's sort of new, but it's a good one. If there are any doors from the house going out to the pool, everybody with me? The back door, whatever, it's usually going to be a back door that goes out to the pool area.
Yeah.
There has to be an alarm on that door. And I'm not talking about the alarm that's your
CPI security in the house.
Correct. It cannot be that. It has to be a separate alarm.
Wow,
it's just attached to
the door.
I never heard of that either.
Yeah, it's newer. We built a pool last year, and it was a surprise to me. And I looked it up. I think it's different counties adopted it, but it's pretty much universal now. And it's a separate alarm, and it's a good thing. I mean, as soon as you open that door, it is high pitched. I mean, it's like, you know, one of those Roadrunner, Wildy Coyote deals. I mean, but I mean, because they did a study, 85% of the fatalities with the child are, they thought the child was in the house, child got outside, and they had no idea. And again, you cannot use your CPI or ADT or whatever. That's
not a home security system.
No, this is a
door
separate
alarm.
Yeah, and it has the whole mechanisms right there. We actually have two, one from the living room and one from the master bedroom that goes on there. Now there is a button on it that you push, like it's like an override, and it's taller, you know, so the child can't reach it. So for 15 seconds you can get out without
shut that door real quick.
Yeah. Now I will tell you, a lot of people disable it, and a lot of people, because there's not that button on the other side. So when you come back in,
right,
it goes off. And I mean, you can turn it off, but you're not.
The whole point is
somebody's taking
your family.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is kind of a new thing, but it is required. A lot of people disable it. I would not recommend it if you have small children, or if you're a grandparent and small children are going to be staying with you, you know, in the summer or something like that. It actually is a good thing.
Now, do you? I know you'll go out and inspect this to make sure they're compliant, but does your company actually help them put that alarm in, or do you usually refer that out?
I usually refer that out, but we'll test it, you know, to see if it's working and that sort of thing. A couple other things with the pool, just make sure that, like I said, the big thing with the latch, you know, you shouldn't be able to reach the latch a child should be able to reach over the latch. It has to be at least 3 inches down from, you know, on the inside of the pool. It has to be at least 3 inches down. You don't want it right up at the top. And there's a couple of other things, but I'll put the entire list up on. There's a lot of kind of technical this and that, but those are the broad strokes of what it has to do. But basically, you know, we're trying to keep a small child. When I think of small child, I'm thinking toddler.
Yeah.
That's mobile and curious, but not yet able to swim. And we definitely do not want that mobile toddler child around the pool with the parent not knowing it or not zoomed in on exactly what's going on.
And it happens. I mean, when I lived in Allison Park here in Charlotte just a few years back, one of the neighbors had a party, and there was a pool next door, and the kids were running around the neighborhood and going in and out of that. Somehow the child got in to the pool and passed away. It was very devastating.
Wow.
But these things are real. I mean, that's why we bring topics important like this to the show, because we want our listeners to be educated, not just with, yeah, I've got a gate, I've got a latch, but gosh, I didn't know I needed a door alarm and to be sort of compliant with today's standards. And so hopefully our listeners are taking notes and learning from some of the things that we're talking about. So now, if you're hearing anything that is of interest to you, whether it's the credit repair stuff we talked about in the first segment, staging and real estate with Kathleen, or even with Preston Sandlin with home inspection components of your day-to-day life, you need to give us a call here on the show. The number is 704-277-4463. That's 704-277-4463.